In the beginning of the drama, we see the 32 Korean Film Awards. An announcer says the red carpet is about to begin, teasing a gorgeous dress showdown and calling it a night where actresses fight for pride. Everyone wants to know who will win. In the next scene, we see our female lead Yuji working out and checking her weight. She complains her weight rose by 500 grams and blames the manager for making her eat 5 pieces of gimbap the night before. The other says she did it so she wouldn't collapse from hunger. Even back then, the two pushed each other hard and competed over small things like food and weight. As idols, they get their photos taken. Someone asks how many fan shots each got that day. Ning got 300, Yuji got 400, but a staffer says that's not enough and it should be pushed to 600, underlining how numbers obsessed their world already was. In the salon, Yuji is being styled to look more attractive, asking for extra shading to look sexier. Afterward, one girl admires her own face, saying she's flawless from every angle. Another jokes she's jealous since standing next to her is like seeing Venus without a museum, then adds bittersweetly that the sad part is this beautiful girl can only see herself in a mirror, showing their close but insecure friendship. They're told to hurry or they'll be late. One says she'll go get the prize, hinting at an award ahead. A different, more serious storyline. A counselor, our male lead Chin, asks a boy a pointed question. Wouldn't it feel good to hurt back whoever hurt him? He says that if someone bullies you, you should hurt them back just as badly. The boy hesitates, saying that's not how he feels. The counselor presses, is he afraid of losing, or does he actually pity his bully? The boy admits he went through something terrible. The counselor reveals his own past. He once dropped out of high school and lived through his own days of hell, locked in his room. He tells the boy he needs to make the bully feel that same pain. On screen, an eye for an eye. The mother of the boy, uneasy about this method, asks if it's really okay to use with her son, but admits he's grown much brighter since starting. If it's working, she says, saving his life matters more than anything. Her son, Sun Moon, had become deeply withdrawn from bullying and had even thought of suicide. She asks how he could possibly find the will to live if she just tells him to forgive and forget. The counselor answers bluntly, revenge. For someone who feels hopeless enough to want to die, even imagined revenge can be what keeps them alive. The mother says she understands his concerns, but still wants to be an excellent counselor for people like her son, and hopes to help him become himself again soon. In the next scene, Chin receives a call from a TV show representative. While talking on the phone, he gets distracted by a roadside banner of Yuji and keeps looking at it instead of paying full attention to the call. The caller asks if he's from No Kids on the Block, and he confirms that he is. The caller says that appearing on such a popular show would boost his popularity, but Chin brushes it off, saying he's already fairly well known. The caller insists that word-of-mouth fame and TV appearances are very different. Noticing that he's distracted, the caller asks if he's listening, and Chin simply replies, "Yes, I'm listening." In the end, he politely declines the offer, saying he's grateful for the invitation, but it's difficult for him to accept it right now. Yuji sees, on screen, Han Ning versus Yuji, who will win the newcomer award. Yuji asks why she is chewing gum aggressively. Someone jokes her jaw might come off. She says it reduces facial swelling before the event. Celebrities need self-control. Someone remarks admiringly. Yuji notices her manager staring and asks what's wrong. He says he just got a call from the agency and makes her promise 3 things before he'll explain. Don't get angry. Don't shout, don't curse. She agrees. The news is about the appearance order at the ceremony, which is decided by their agency, U-Star. Her manager tells her to just accept it because the alternative is facing public criticism. He says it's better to receive a phone call about the order than be embarrassed in front of everyone, and she reluctantly agrees. Furious, Yuji accuses her manager of acting like a dog showing its belly. He explains that this is a prestigious film festival, not a music show, so he has no power to change the order. He warns that if she complains too much, she'll be labeled as difficult, which could damage her image. Yuji angrily asks if he can't hear the sound of her status dropping. She says that in this industry, appearance order matters, and walking out after Ning makes her look lower ranked, something she refuses to accept. She reminds him that she was once the center of their idol group, but he reminds her that they're actors now, not idol. In the car, Yuji shocks her manager by telling him to hit her. She's not joking. She wants to fake a traffic accident to escape the situation. On set, she's praised for a performance so raw it barely looks like acting. She modestly credits her senior. Ning then gets a message asking if the appearance order can be changed after all, followed by a news headline. Yuji was in a minor traffic accident and will stop by the hospital before the event. The staged accident worked. A news report announces Ning is now an active, nominated actor, building anticipation for the ceremony. Yuji arrives looking stunning. Reporters ask if she's really okay after the accident. Told to hold still for photos so people behind her can move, it becomes clear she and Ning will walk together. Commentary describes their long friendship since their girl group days. Yuji sarcastically asks if Ning bothered to come greet her. Ning coolly asks if they're really even that close. Yuji calls it just a performance. Ning says she's very good at performing. They pose together under the Korean Film Awards banner despite the tension. Both are nominated for Best New Actress, and in interviews both insist they'll support each other no matter who wins, a public performance of friendship neither privately feel. In the next scene, Chin visits his friend, feeling hungry and asking for something to eat. His friend tells him that no matter how busy he is, he should at least eat one proper meal a day. Chin jokes that he can't waste his expensive hourly consulting time on eating. While they're talking, Chen's friend tells everyone to be quiet because her favorite star, Yuji, has just been nominated. She excitedly reveals that she was once the president of Yuji's fan club. Chin teases her for joining the fan club of every beautiful woman, but she doesn't deny it. When he asks if Yuji and Jian are secretly rivals because of someone, she says they're not close at all and jokingly threatens him to stop making up story. The broadcast returns to the nominees. Ning wonders aloud if the accident was faked. She notes Yuji's naturally suspicious personality hasn't changed, and Hyunjin admits it's because she's been burned before. Then the announcement, the new actress award goes to Han Ning for It Was My Fault. The room erupts. Yuji, devastated, asks why, through gritted teeth, insisting how hard she's tried, crushed that it wasn't enough. In a private moment, Yuji says that instead of screaming with joy, she wants to scream out jealous, hateful words, crying like a vengeful ghost. She'd been counting on this win to renew her contract on a high note. Now that plan is ruined. Her manager tells Mr. what he can't accept it. He clarifies that supporting her and being honest about the results are two different things, and refuses to flatter her. Rain begins, and the two end up sheltering together. She sarcastically tells him to run before her bad mood hits him. He jokes about her sharp tongue, but says he can't leave her alone right now, especially in the rain. They agree to make a run for it once it stops. Then Yuji comes out from her room and says she's hungry. Then she makes food. They share a modest meal, our own little celebration. Despite the loss, Yuji jokes eating this much will make her gain weight, but agrees to enjoy it anyway. She thanks him, though she can't finish it all, joking she's supposedly working out. Turning serious, she asks him to be completely honest. Is her acting really worse than Ning's? She can't accept losing to her, but she also can't keep crying about it. As a professional, she wants his real analysis, not comfort. He says it's not that she's worse. Winning is about 80% luck anyway, since acting is judged so subjectively. Unsatisfied, she insists she's the better actress, but he won't simply agree to please her. She warns that if he lies to her, she'll be genuinely angry. She needs the truth to grow. He finally says it plainly. Her acting isn't bad, but it often feels soulless, technically fine, emotionally empty, like a routine performance where she never truly connects with the character. Stunned, Yuji repeats the word soulless. He explains it's as if she can't fully immerse herself in someone else's feeling. She admits that's honestly how it feels from the outside too, and jokes he's quite the critic. He says he's thought about the reason. He believes she simply doesn't have enough empathy for others. Defensive, she asks if he's really calling her selfish. He says she struggles to put herself in others' shoes, and that acting is fundamentally about expressing someone else's life and feelings as your own, something that might genuinely be hard for her. Child actor subplot. A little girl films a juice commercial and she forgets her line, then helps a rival who kept forgetting her lines. Her mother tells her, wouldn't Yuji shine more if the other kid failed? Yuji asks back why she herself was once helped the same way. Then the girl hands her a gift, which she thanks them for in advance, but the tone suddenly turns cold as someone else is told to disappear and never come back. Present day, Yuji is practicing dialogue. A lady tells her it's wrong to shout out of excitement rather than real feeling. If you truly want someone to stop hurting you, shouting alone isn't enough. You need to actually process the emotion. The listener admits this doesn't fully click and wonders if that's exactly why they aren't improving. They take a short break. In the next scene, we see Chin talking with his assistant about the Best New Artist award. His assistant suggests that they should send a flower bouquet to Ning to congratulate her on winning the award. Chin agrees, and then he sends Ning a message, congratulating her on her win. Then, Ning messages Chin and asks if he's available for a big celebration party. Just as she's texting him, Yuji arrives at the salon and says, "So, you come to this salon too?" Ning looks at her and replies that she had been crying. She denies it, blaming puffiness on a late night, joking she shouldn't eat after 6 if she wants to avoid gaining weight, but admits yesterday she wanted to be reckless. Asked if she's frustrated, she denies that too. Told her car has arrived, she heads down. Oh Mijin, greeting Yuji whom she hasn't seen in a while, asks if they're now managing Ning, sympathizing that it must be tough. During makeup, Yuji complains her face looks puffy and asks for heavier shading. The stylist mentions being surprised by the ceremony results. In rank, looks, and popularity, Yuji is clearly ahead of Ning. Yuji says the judges apparently disagree. The stylist calls that too naive a view, hinting there's a hidden reason. The judges, specifically director Yoon and Ning herself, are somehow connected. Yuji admits she knows a little. The stylist insists she knows very well, then cuts the conversation short, telling everyone to get back to work. Someone asks about Yuji's outfit from a brand called Urbany, noting it doesn't sponsor just anyone, prompting a demand to secure an Urbany sponsorship for their own client instead, underscoring the constant status competition. Ning's assistant tells her a call comes in from director Moon Kyung-sik. He wants to cast Han Ning in a new role, but the production company says she lacks star quality. The company wants Yuji instead, but Moon says she lacks the acting skill. It sets up a clash between star power and real talent. Someone predicts that if Yuji takes the role and genuinely commits to improving, it could open a new stage in her career. Someone remarks they've gathered some useful gossip. His assistant tells him Chen does real psychological counseling, and he has a genuine gift for surfacing buried emotion. Rumors are already spreading in the industry that his sessions dramatically improve actors' performances. Someone wonders whether the notoriously guarded Yuji would ever agree to a session. Another suggests that even imagined revenge can soothe a hurting heart. A grateful former client thanks Chin for nearly eliminating her depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. She's even landed a job cleaning a building. Since she's doing so well, they agree to cut her sessions to once a month. Before leaving, she nervously asks if it's really okay to act on the imagined revenge scenarios from their session. He clarifies it's meant purely as a therapeutic technique, not something to act out. She says she understands and leaves quickly. On a film set, Yuji delivers "I love you with all my heart" opposite a co-star. Directed by Kim Jin-moo. The director wants more real emotion and calls for another take, but the actor says he's not feeling well and asks for a break. A 10-minute pause is granted. Off-set, director Moon suggests Yuji try professional counseling. She immediately rejects it, insisting she's not a psychopath. Told not to be so defensive, counseling is normal these days even for someone young. She still refuses, saying it's not just talk-based therapy. It pulls out deeply suppressed feelings, and though she's heard other actors improved through it, she still doesn't like the idea. Pressed on why, he admits he doesn't want to expose her unconscious thoughts on top of everything already exposed about her private life. What if the counselor leaks something? He's reassured the counselor strictly follows confidentiality and has no history of breaches, but she remains distrustful. Someone reveals they themselves have already used this counselor, admitting it's exactly why their acting improved so much. Surprised, he asks if they'll keep her visits secret too. A call is placed to the counseling office. This is for actor Yuji, calling to make a reservation. Director Moon comes to Chin for it, confirming she's decided to try it after all. He asks pointedly whether her privacy will be fully protected and is reassured it's treated as an ordinary work matter. He agrees. On arrival, her manager offers to drive her home afterward for extra discretion. She jokes about being treated like such a VIP and is told the center's real strength is its strict confidentiality. She's relieved she'll get to go home early once it's done. As she says goodbye, in the next scene, Chin sees Yuji and gets lost in memories for a moment. Yuji then asks, "Can I come in?" Snapping out of his thought, Chin replies, "Yes, come in." Inside, she finally sees the counselor's credentials on display, diplomas, certificate. Chin tells her, half-jokingly, that he's genuinely talented, and people always say so. She admits she now understands why people seem a little wary of his confidence. He starts the session by having her draw a card at random. The instant she does, he tells her she has very strong defenses. Surprised, she asks why. He explains her earlier questionnaire answers were consistently vague, never fully committing either way, and the fact she picked her card instantly, without hesitation, shows she immediately sought control and safety. A classic defense mechanism to avoid inside, revealing her inner self during exposing moments. He shifts to her childhood. She questions why that matters. He explains that personality is shaped by early experiences, especially with parents, and asks if her relationship with hers was good. She answers vaguely. Not particularly good, not bad, just normal. He pushes back gently. Without honesty, they can't reach any meaningful conclusion. He raises something more specific, a note describing her strong fear of being alone on a rainy day, and asks if she might have symptoms resembling claustrophobia. She tries to deflect, joking about the weather outside. He explains that fear tied to such specific conditions usually points to deeper, unresolved trauma, and asks pointedly whether she experienced a major accident as a child. Before she can answer, he excuses himself and steps out. Suddenly, things turn frightening. Someone announces the day is over, followed by confusion about an electrical leak warning. Yuji, alone in the small room, finds the door won't open. She begs desperately for someone to open it, panic mounting, clearly tied directly to the claustrophobia and trauma just discussed. She calls out, "Mr. Yuji, can you hear me?" Her voice full of real terror. Told to stay away from the door for safety, she admits she's truly scared and keeps pleading. Finally, the door opens. He rushes to check on her. She gasps that she can't breathe. The counselor tells her to look into his eyes and follow his lead, guiding her through a breathing exercise in for 1, 2, out for 3, 4. Gradually, she calms from what was clearly a full panic attack. The episode's emotional gut punch, a flashback. A little girl is trapped somewhere frightening, crying. A man's voice gently tells her to be strong, promising he will save her, then breaks down apologizing, calling himself her uncle, hinting that something went terribly wrong that he failed to prevent, leaving a lasting scar of fear in young Yuji that still shapes her today. In the next scene, we are shown Yuji in hospital. Yuji's staff are very angry and immediately want to file a lawsuit against Chin, but Yuji surprises everyone by stopping them. Even though she usually doesn't trust anyone, she calmly says that it was just an accident and believes Chin is not a bad person. Her manager is shocked because he has never seen Yuji defend a stranger before. Yuji simply says that she doesn't want to make the situation more complicated, but this also hints that she already sees something different in Chin. This becomes the first sign that their relationship may change in the future. Then we see Mr. Moon and his assistant. They talk about how amazing Chen is as a therapist. They say he has a special talent for bringing out emotions that people don't even realize they are hiding. They are surprised that someone as cold and stubborn as Yuji actually has a warm and caring side deep inside. They even call him a miracle worker and start wondering if Yuji is okay after the accident. At the same time, we see Chen Huan sitting outside Yuji's hospital room, looking worried. He quietly says to himself, "I wonder if she's okay." Inside the room, Yuji suddenly hears the exact same words in her head. Confused, she thinks her assistant, who is sleeping beside her bed, is talking in his sleep. She immediately wakes him up and tells him to go home and get some proper rest, but her assistant refuses to leave. He tells Yuji that he is staying with her because it is raining outside and he doesn't want to leave her alone. After that, we see Chin return to his friend. He is helping him apply medicine. Seeing all the injuries, Jun-sik becomes worried and asks if he got into a fight. However, Chin avoids the question. He simply says it was nothing important and refuses to explain what really happened, even though the bruises clearly tell a different story. In the next scene, we see a woman cleaning a floor while a man is talking to someone on the phone. He says that someone has accidentally transferred $50,000 into his bank account. Then we get a flashback. We see that the same woman had gone to this man to ask for her money back, but instead of helping her, the man becomes furious and brutally beats her. This reveals that she is being treated very badly, even though she is only asking for the money that rightfully belongs to her. Meanwhile, Yuji's director asks her for next therapy class and starts preparing her for an important meeting with the famous director Woo. He tells her that this meeting could change her career, so she must make a good impression. He honestly reminds Yuji that she is almost 30 years old and can't rely on her beauty forever. If she wants a long career, she needs to prove herself as a talented actress instead of just being a popular celebrity. He repeatedly asks her to stay polite, be respectful, and control her temper no matter what director Wu says. However, Yuji doesn't seem worried at all. Instead, she calmly reminds her manager that she still hasn't renewed her contract with the agency. With just one sentence, she makes it clear that she still has the upper hand, leaving her manager with no choice but to keep persuading her. Meanwhile, news starts spreading that Yuji might become the next actress chosen by the famous director Woo. Because of these rumors, Everyone believes the meeting will be a big opportunity for her. However, as soon as Yuji arrives, she realizes it is actually a trap. Director Woo has secretly invited her rival actress Ning without informing either of them. At first, Director Woo politely asks Yuji about his famous movie and says he heard she is a big fan of it. When he asks what she liked about the film, Yuji answers that it is a story about true desperation. But Director Woo immediately disagrees. He says the movie is actually about a person's selfish desire to survive, even if they have to step on everyone else. He then insults Yuji, saying that someone who has lived an easy life could never understand real suffering. Finally, he bluntly tells her that he has no intention of casting her in his next film. Instead of staying quiet, Yuji confidently fights back. She tells him that his movie is not about desire at all, but about real and painful desperation. She also says that someone who was born into a rich and successful family could never truly understand that feeling. After saying exactly what she thinks, Yuji tells Director Woo that she is no longer interested in working on his project either. Then she turns around and walks out without giving him a chance to respond. Outside, her manager panics and desperately begs her to go back and apologize before it is too late. But Yuji refuses. She says Director Woo is famous for being rude, while she is famous for having a difficult personality, so neither of them has any reason to apologize to the other. After saying that, Yuji leaves the meeting without looking back. Meanwhile, her manager receives a phone call from the woman he refers to as Yuji's mother. As usual, she isn't calling to ask how Yuji is doing. Instead, she only wants an update about Yuji's contract renewal with the agency. Before the manager can finish the conversation, he is suddenly interrupted by an urgent situation that immediately grabs his attention. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the consequences of an earlier incident finally catch up with Chen. A news report reveals that his former counseling client, Lee Young-ji, is the woman who recently stabbed a man in Seoul. She attacked him to take revenge after he had scammed and cheated her. The report also claims that the police suspect Chen may have encouraged her to take revenge during the free counseling sessions he gave her. Not long after, Chin receives a call informing him that he has been asked to appear as a witness for questioning. Hearing this news leaves him visibly shocked and worried. In the next scene, we are shown Yuji, who is drinking in her home and remembering the words of Manager Moon. Then she receives a call and is shocked with happiness because Director Woo selected her for the main female lead. Meanwhile, Ning is also facing problems in her career. Her acting coach honestly tells her that he can teach acting technique, but he cannot teach the natural charm that attracts audiences. At the same time, one of her sponsors decides to stop supporting her. Before leaving, the sponsor asks if she is struggling to pay her mother's hospital bills. Embarrassed, Ning quickly replies, "Why are you asking that?" and avoids the conversation. The scene then cuts to Director Woo's office, where Yuji and her manager are waiting. Yuji quietly tries to hide her excitement because she believes she has a good chance of being selected as the lead actress in Director Woo's new project. Even though she acts calm, everyone can clearly see how hopeful she is. After that, we are shown the stylist of Yuji, Mi Jong, makes an unexpected announcement. She says she is quitting her job. Soon with this, we are shown a flashback in which Yuji helps Jong by paying the hospital bills of her mother. After remembering everything, she still uploads an emotional post online. She claims that after working for a famous actress for 3 years, she can no longer stay silent. Along with the post, she uploads a video that appears to show Yuji verbally abusing a staff member. The video spreads across the internet within hours, and people immediately begin criticizing Yuji. Many say they always believed her sweet public image was fake, while others call her rude and arrogant. On the other hand, Director Woo signs the contract with Yuji. After that, his assistant comes and tells him all about the situation. Yuji is completely shocked. She repeatedly insists that the woman in the video is not her. She admits that she can sometimes be blunt, but she would never treat someone that cruelly. She desperately asks to meet Mi Jong and clear up the misunderstanding, but no one can contact her. Her team also warns her that trying to reach Mi Jong now would only make people think she is threatening her. As the scandal grows bigger, advertisers begin discussing canceling their contracts with Yuji. The production team of her drama even considers removing her character from the story altogether. Meanwhile, her staff rush to stop the rumors from spreading further and prepare legal action against the people sharing what they believe is false information. Even though everything around her is falling apart, Yuji forces herself to stay calm. She jokingly says that since she has already lost both her reputation and her popularity, the only thing left to protect is her beauty. But behind that joke, she is clearly terrified. At home, when her assistant comes, she sends all of her staff home because she doesn't want anyone to see how heartbroken and shaken she really is. After that, we see Chin at the police station because of Young Ji's case. The police tell him that he is only being questioned as a witness and that he is not expected to face any legal trouble. However, they also inform him that Young Ji has once again refused to meet him, just like she did the day before. Hearing this makes Chin feel even more guilty. He starts blaming himself, believing that his counseling may have indirectly influenced Young Ji's decision. As he sits there alone, strange thoughts suddenly begin filling his mind. He hears someone calling themselves a lowlife and a fraud, but the thoughts don't feel like his own. This leaves him frightened, and he starts wondering if he is losing his mind. A short while later, Chin comes face to face with Yuji again. At that moment, he finally realizes the truth. The emotions and thoughts he has been hearing actually belong to Yuji. Worried, he asks her if she has been crying. Yuji immediately denies it and insists that she is completely fine. But after a brief pause, she quietly admits that maybe he is right. Both of them are left confused and unsettled as they realize they can somehow sense each other's emotions without even speaking. After that, the story shifts back to Chen's house, where the mood becomes much lighter. Jun-sik starts teasing Chen about what happened the previous night. He reminds him that he was the one who carried him home after he got beaten up, even hurting his own back in the process. However, Chen still refuses to explain who attacked him. Meanwhile, Yuji faces another heartbreaking betrayal. This time, it comes from the CEO of her own agency. He hands her a new contract with much harsher terms. The new deal gives Yuji a much smaller share of the profits and also increases the penalty she would have to pay if she broke the contract. The CEO doesn't even try to hide his true feeling. He openly tells Yuji that he only cared about her when she was making money for the company. Now that her reputation has been damaged, he sees her as nothing more than a burden. Although his words deeply hurt her, Yuji refuses to give up. She confidently tells him that she has overcome even bigger challenges since the beginning of her career. Determined to prove everyone wrong, she promises that she will rise back to the top of the entertainment industry, no matter how difficult the journey is. In the next scene, Yuji receives a phone call from her mother. Then we are shown a flashback from Yuji's childhood. The flashback reveals that Yuji grew up in an orphanage. One day, she is told that if she gives up or quits, another child will lose the same opportunity that she was once given. Those words leave a deep impact on her and become the reason she always pushes herself to succeed, not only for herself, but also for the children who might be waiting for the same chance. After that, Yuji realizes how quickly the entertainment industry has turned against her. Her phone, which was once filled with non-stop calls, casting offers, and business opportunities, suddenly becomes completely silent. No one wants to work with her anymore because of the scandal. Meanwhile, her assistant, Do-hoon, who still genuinely cares about her, advises her to put aside her pride and apologize to her former CEO before it is too late. He sadly tells her that in this industry, loyal people are often the ones who suffer the most. Later, Do-hoon sends Yuji a text message because he cannot bring himself to tell her in person. In the message, he informs her that she has to move out of her apartment by the end of the week. Even so, he promises that he will always care about her no matter what happens. Instead of breaking down, Yuji immediately starts looking for a new place to live. She meets a property broker and confidently says that she doesn't want to rent a house, she wants to buy one. Without wasting any time, she transfers the full payment so she can move in as soon as possible. However, things quickly go wrong. When she arrives at the house, several other people also show up, each claiming that they have already rented or bought the same property. Yuji soon realizes that they have all been scammed. The real owner had gone overseas, and the broker took advantage of the situation by selling the same house to multiple people before disappearing with everyone's money. After being scammed, Yuji goes to the police station to report the fraud. However, instead of receiving sympathy, she becomes the center of attention. People around her recognize her and begin whispering about the recent bullying scandal. Some even make fun of her appearance and say that her bad personality must be just like the viral video showed. While filing the report, the detective asks Yuji if she has checked the property's ownership document. Confused, Yuji admits that she doesn't even know about those legal procedures. She honestly says that she thought buying a house house was as simple as paying the money and receiving the keys. This shows how disconnected she has become from normal life after spending so many years as a famous celebrity. Just then, Yuji notices a woman secretly taking pictures of her. Already under a lot of stress, she is about to lose her temper. Before the situation gets worse, Chin, who is also at the police station for another matter, steps in. Calmly, he warns the woman that secretly posting Yuji's photo online with insulting comments could be considered defamation and might lead to a lawsuit. Without revealing that he knows Yuji, he simply introduces himself as a counselor, and the man quietly backs off. At the same time, another detective speaks with Chen about Youngji's case. He explains that the situation is very serious. Since the victim is unwilling to forgive her and Youngji has no family or close friends to help resolve the case, her chances of receiving a lighter sentence are very low unless both sides agree to reconcile. In the next scene, we see Yuji and Chin left alone after everything that happened that day. Yuji tries to act strong and pretends that losing her money doesn't matter. She confidently says that she can always earn more because she is Yuji. Even though she speaks with confidence, it is clear that she is only hiding her true feeling. Chin quietly looks at her and gently asks if she is okay. Yuji immediately brushes off the question, but after a moment, he softly asks her again. This time, Yuji can no longer hide her emotions. She admits that hearing him ask if she is okay again and again is exactly what makes her want to cry. She says that his concern makes her realize that she is not as strong as she has been pretending to be. For the first time, Yuji lets down the walls around her and honestly shows how hurt and exhausted she really is. In the next scene, we see a quiet and emotional moment between Yuji and Chin, hinting that a deeper bond is slowly beginning to grow between them. In the next, a little girl calling Chin dad and telling him she is ready for school. Right then, Chin telling her she will have to take off her crown. The other kids at school are there too. She says she is the queen and she will not take off her crown. Chin trying to explain it to her, but she is not listening to anyone and refuses to take it off. Then that he has no choice but to agree, and he is taking his daughter to school. Right then, they notice that someone is moving in next door. He bumps into someone. That someone is none other than Yuji. He says, "You're here." And she says, "You're here." And then both of them go into complete shock. Then they notice, "So it is you who is moving in here?" She says yes. Next, the little girl saying, "Papa, Papa, we are getting late for school. Let's go quickly." And right then, Yuji goes into shock hearing the word Papa, both of them staring at each other, wondering what is going on. What then? That in the office, Chin thinks to himself that in all of Seoul, she had to find a house right in front of mine. After that, Chin's sitting there, thinking about Yuji's reaction to the word Papa. Then he thinks, maybe she got the wrong idea. Then he thinks, forget it, why should I care? Meanwhile, Yuji is thinking the exact same thing, how well he played the act of being single, not a single hint that he is married. Then she thinks, actually, I never even asked him, so it is my fault too. And then she gets lost in her work as well. Here Chen's sister looking out the window at the little girl and feeling happy. Just then the maid comes and says, "You're up." Then his sister getting back to her work and the maid cleaning up, noticing her. Then that in the office, on the other hand, the same maid calls Chin and tells him that ma'am seems really serious this time. Her room was clean and she woke up on time too. Chin saying, "Please keep an eye on her at home." She says, "Sir, that is my job." Then that at night, Yuji is feeling very cold inside the house. She says she is freezing and cannot take it anymore. Next, Chin also coming back home. Looking at Yuji's house, he wonders if she has unpacked everything. Then he thinks, forget it, why should I care? Just then as he is walking away, he hears Yuji's voice behind him, and Yuji is in a really bad state. He asks, "What happened to you? Are you okay?" She says, "Counselor Chin, I am very cold. There is no electricity in my house either." He says, "Why don't you come to my place right now?" After that, Chin inviting her in, and she goes to his house. Here Chin giving her hot soup to warm her up and asking whether, when she moved into this house, she did not pay the gas and electricity bills. Yuji making an excuse saying it is not that she did not know all this. She actually forgot. And we can see that Yuji actually had no idea. He thinks to himself that maybe she is broke these days. Then his inner voice comes to her. She says, "I am publicly not broke, but privately I am broke. Please do not say that." And here Chin goes into shock. He had not even said it out loud. He asks, "Can you hear inner voices, Miss Yuji?" She says, "What, your inner voice?" Then Chin saying yes. He had not even said it out loud and she could hear it. Then Yuji also noticing it. She says, "Yes, I can hear you." Her voice was about to tell him something. Just then the little girl comes in and says, "I am hungry, Daddy." He says, "Okay, I will get the food ready. Then the girl noticing Yuji, she says, why are you staring like that? Have you never seen such a pretty girl? She says, Auntie. Yuji says, Auntie? From what angle do I look like your auntie to you? Next, Chin bringing out some tasty rice and saying he made this today. He asks if Yuji will not eat. She says no, she does not eat anything after 6 p.m. It is for her balanced diet. Then the little girl starting to eat. He tells her yes, go ahead. But as soon as she eats it, she spits it out. She says, is this how bad it tastes? Chin also eats it, and he also spits it out. The girl saying she chentade tasty food and she is hungry. Then Chin saying, look, this food will go to waste, so please, you will have to eat it. Girl saying no, she chentade tasty rice, and Yuji says, what if this auntie does some magic in the rice? She being allowed to, and Chin also agreeing. Then Yuji starting with her cooking skills and making a delicious rice and placing it in front of them. He says, let us taste it. The moment both of them eat her rice, they go into complete shock because the rice turned out to be incredibly tasty, and the little girl loves it too. Here Chin asking, you do not eat food, but you cook well. She says, that is my specialty. It is a shame I do not get the chance to test my cooking skills. What can you do? Just then Chen's sister arriving. The moment she arrives, Chen starts giving her an explanation. She moved in front of our house just today. There is no gas or electricity in her place, so I invited her over. His sister not liking it at all that anyone has come to her house. As he is explaining, his sister just casually says hi to Yuji because Yuji says hi to her. Right then his sister noticing Yuji again and going into shock, upset at the same time. She says to Chin, what is all this going on in my house? She walking away angrily. Chin tells Yuji, please could you give us a moment alone? Yuji saying, yes, okay, I am sitting right here. He says, what I mean is, you can please leave from here too. And Yuji walking out of there angrily, coming outside and thinking, what kind of people are these? First he invites me himself and then throws me out of the house himself. In the next scene, Chin coming to his sister. His sister shouts at him, what is she doing in our house? Even on TV, I used to get angry seeing her, and now you have brought her right in front of me. And Chin telling her to forget about all these old things. She says, how do I forget? How do I forget that incident because of which everything happened? Everything that happened because of her, my life has become hell today. Chin trying to make her understand that at that time it was not her fault at all. It was all an incident. She says, this incident happened with you. Then you would know. And she says, if you cannot make her leave, then get me shifted from here. She says, I do not chant to stay here, and I do not even chant to see her fate. What I am going through, only I know. Chin saying, you're very tired, and I am very tired too. Please get some rest. And saying that, he leaves, leaving his sister behind. Next day, Ning coming to the CEO's company where Yuji used to work. She says, why is my contract so different from Yuji's? The CEO explaining that she has just come into the industry and she has not gotten that much fame yet compared to Yuji. The CEO saying our company is still providing you so much, so we feel you should join our company. Ning, looking at the situation, saying, okay, I will sign the contract. Meanwhile, Yuji sitting at home thinking, sitting at home will not help. Why not open my own single agency? And the moment the idea comes to her mind, she heads out. At the restaurant, Yuji calling her manager and stylist and saying, look, I have a great idea. Why don't we restart? And by the way, I chose you both for this special work. You two are my personal assistants too. What do you think? Both of them going into shock, what us? Then them saying, why, aren't you happy? Can you not show your happiness? They say it is not like that. Then both of them keep telling each other, you tell first, no you tell first. That neither of them is saying anything. Yuji understands. Then on the way back, Yuji understands why both of them must have rejected her. She is feeling very upset. Just then her own poster being taken down in front of her eyes. She is very upset watching her own poster being removed right before her and watching another actress's poster being put up in its place. And she understands. Maybe she is going through a bad time. She accepts it. On the other hand, Yuji walking out of the store with a drink. Right then, she notices a guy who is being very rude to the counter girl and forcing her to give him extra drinks. She pulls out her phone and starts recording him. She says, look, do you know who I am? He says, who are you? Right then, Chin also in the same store, quietly listening to everything. Then Yuji saying, you don't know who I am? Right then, the counter girl notices and says, oh my god, you are Yuji the superstar. She says, yes, see. At least someone still likes me. Then the guy saying, oh, so you're that bully girl who is getting famous nationwide. What do you think you are? Is anyone even asking about you these days? She says, no one is asking, but my followers are. I will make your video viral right now. I still have a lot of followers. He says, okay, what can you do? She says, look, I am recording your video. The guy hears this and quietly slips away. Right here, Yuji winning. The counter girl thanks her for helping and Yuji says she gets angry seeing people like this. After that, the moment she steps outside, thinking about what that guy said, she is feeling hurt and very upset. He was right though. I am not popular anymore. Just then she is about to fall. Chin helps her up and saves her. Then Chin asking, "You are here at this time?" She says yes, she came to get a drink. Then Chin saying, "Okay, I will go." He is about to leave. Yuji stops him and says, "Are you hungry?" "It is very late. I am hungry." He says, "No, I am not hungry." Then she says, "But I am very hungry." Next, Chin taking her to his best friend's restaurant and ordering a lot of dishes. He asks, "So you are not going to eat all of this? You said you were very hungry." She says, "If every time I am hungry I eat this much, then how will I maintain my figure?" Chin saying, "So does that mean I have to eat all of this?" She says, "Yes, you will have to eat it. Actually, I have a problem. I feel really good when the other person enjoys their food." He says, "Okay, I am a big therapist. I will eat the food." He says, "How do you feel now?" She says, "Now I feel good." And Yuji feeling good. She says, "Yes, today I was very sad too." Here Chin asking her, "So what do you want to do?" She says, "If I don't eat, it's not like I will say something to it. I will not do anything." And that, then she says, "You do not need to feel bad for me." Chin says, "Am I feeling bad for you? How do you know?" She says, "Actually, I can feel it." He says, "Yes, one more thing." Then Chin remembering something. She says, "How can you feel it?" She says, "Yes." Yuji says, "I am actually thinking the same thing. How do I feel you're feeling? Even the things you do not say out loud, I can hear." Just then Yuji saying, "I am leaving from here." Just then his friend coming in with the food. He says, "What did you say to my crush goddess Yuji that she left so quickly?" His friend is getting angry at him. "Tell me what you said." And he says, "I did not say anything. Your goddess can hear my inner voice." He says, "What inner voice?" He says, "Yes, is she truly a goddess?" Next day, Yuji coming to the doctor and telling her, how can a special single person's voice be heard inside the mind? The voice that he thinks in his mind. The doctor does not understand anything, so she explains, I cannot hear anyone else's voice at all, but I can hear all of his voices, and I can feel them too. I feel emotional. The doctor says, really? She says, I know this must seem like a joke to you, but this is serious. What do I do? The doctor says, you have been under a lot of stress recently, and depression too. Let me give you some medicine. You will feel better with them. The doctor explaining that she should rest as much as possible. Then, that when Yuji is just coming back home, she receives a post outside her house, a penalty letter sent by her CEO, Mr. Kim. The moment she sees it, she goes into shock and rushes to the office. Yuji barging in and placing the papers in front of the CEO, asking, is this some kind of joke with me? What does this mean? The CEO says, it is not a joke. It is real. She says, a penalty? What penalty? You should be giving me a penalty for breaking the contract with me. Then the CEO also getting angry and saying, Yuji, I have always told you to read the contract properly before coming here to talk. You always do the same thing. That is why you stay like this. Then the CEO saying, why should we pay the penalty? We wanted to keep the contract with you, but you were the one who left the company in the middle. And now we have to take in a new star. So you will have to pay the penalty. The company suffered a loss too. Our contract had ended for the year. Then he says, this is a big amount. I understand you cannot pay it all at once. She says, there is no need to show sympathy. He says, I am not showing sympathy. Talk to your mom. Right then, Ning also walks in. Yuji says, what are you doing here? And seeing her assistant and stylist with Ning, she says, you too. What are you doing with her? The CEO introducing her as their company's new star Ning and her personal assistants. She says, I understand, so all of you betrayed me too. Showed your true color. She is about to leave and almost fall. The manager and stylist come forward. She says, it is okay. Then she says, thank you for caring about me. You have done so much for me until now, I remember. Then she says, but I have gotten used to watching the people I trust hurt me. This is nothing new for me because I have been betrayed so many times. And I understand all of you must be thinking I am finished now. I have nothing left, so you are all leaving me. But, she says, look at me one last time because after this you will never see me in this state again. And saying that angrily, she walks away. Then, the manager also feeling bad about it all. The moment she leaves, Yuji outside becoming very upset. She gets emotional and starts to cry. She thinks, maybe this is what they mean when they say you should not trust anyone. Yuji very hurt. But the moment she enters her house, her confidence comes back. She says she will call everyone, different directors, writers, producers, and she talks to them nicely. No one is picking up her calls. Someone blocks her. Someone puts their assistant on. Someone says they will talk later. Then that one writer picks up her call. She is very happy. She says, "Writer, you actually picked up." The writer calls her to her office. Yuji thanks her for inviting to meet her because no one was even meeting her. The writer says, "You know the rule of this industry. This is how it works here. People only come to you when you are of use." She says yes. The writer saying, "You helped me a lot at the time of my debut. Because of you, I am at this place today." Yuji says, "Please do not say that. You are here because of your own talent." Then she says, "I can help you as much as I can." She shows Yuji her new project. The moment Yuji sees it, she is very happy. She says, "Oh my god, this is so good." Then Yuji reading the main character's script and thinking, "I can do this." But the director says, "Yuji, you misunderstood. It is not the main character. You have to do the supporting role." She says, "What? A supporting role?" Everything becomes unexpected for Yuji, something she had not even thought of. Supporting role? Me? The director saying, "It is okay if you do not want to do it," and is about to take it back. But Yuji thinks and says, "In this situation, which directors will take you for the main character?" Then Yuji saying, "I will do it. I will definitely do it." The writer says it depends on the director. She cannot give full confirmation right now, but Yuji will have to wait a little. But please do well in front of the director. Next day, the director coming with the writer. He meets with Yuji first and asks her some questions about the character, what she feels about it, how she understood the script, how she interpreted it. He is asking her everything from the character. Meanwhile, Chen's sister who is painting. Just then she sees someone on TV. The moment she sees this person, his sister feeling very upset and going into a lot of anger. Then, Chen also just coming out of the counseling room. Right then he gets a call from his maid and the sound of the little girl crying comes through. She is saying, "Please come home quickly." On the other hand, Yuji also coming out of the office. She is very hurt because the writer had told her that this character is very heartbroken and we need to make the audience feel the pain with it. Have you ever felt such a heartbreak? Only then will you be able to feel this character, Miss Yuji. And the director rejecting her saying this character probably will not suit you and you probably cannot give the best performance for it. Then, Yuji coming back home. She finds Chen's letter at her place. She is about to go give it to him. Just then Chen comes running. She calls out to him, but Chen does not listen. She thinks, what is the rush that he cannot even hear my voice? Then Chen also coming back home and calming the little girl down. He hears his sister shouting loudly and tells the maid, "Please take her back. I will come now." After that, Chin going to his sister. His sister is crying very loudly. She is screaming, "My condition became like this because of her. Why? Why does this always happen with me? Why am I tolerating all of this? Why is this happening to me from everywhere?" He tells his sister, "Please do not think like this. Otherwise you will faint again. Please calm down." She says, "How do I calm down?" Just then Yuji also entering that house. She is about to leave seeing this situation. But then she notices, she hears Chen's inner voice in which Chen is saying, "I think maybe even I am hurting a lot from all of this." Then his sister saying, "If this incident had happened with you in my place, then you would know." And then Chen also thinking the same, "Yes, I also chant that. I wish that day it had been me and not you." Yuji hears all these voices and she is deeply hurt. She is feeling Chen's inner pain. That everything Chen is thinking inside, she is feeling all of it. And the director's words make sense to her, a heartbroken smile, a heartbreak that stays only inside the mind, but is not visible to anyone outside, yet gives so much pain from within. Then his sister falling asleep. Right then Chin going into a flashback, remembering how when they were in trouble, their father had stood by them. A child going missing. His father goes to find that child and tells his kids to stay right there. He says he knows this place very well and will find the child and be back. Chen trying to stop him and running after him. His sister also runs after Chen. Just then that because of the weather getting bad, the sound of things breaking comes, and then the sound of children screaming. After that, in the present scene where Chen calms his sister down and leave. And here Yuji thinking on Chat GPT that, does this actually happen? That someone's feelings can be heard and someone's emotions can be felt? It cannot explain it properly. Just then Yuji calling the writer and telling her, "Please give me one more chance. I now understand the character. I understand the feelings too." Next day, that here Chen is telling Hale, Chen's sister's daughter, that today you are not doing princess dress up. She says no. She says, I wish it was just you and me. He says, why? We have the whole family. She says, I wish mom was not in that world. Then how well we would live. Just then Chin getting angry at her. Why are you saying that? She says, mom is very scary. She keeps shouting about everything and does not love me either. Inside, Chen's sister is hearing all of this and is feeling very upset and hurt. Even while going to school, Hale does not reply or say bye because she is angry. Chin's saying bye to her. Then when he is coming back, Yuji is also stepping out of her house. She says good morning and hello to him, but he just greets her normally and quietly walks away. She thinks what happened to him now? He cannot even greet properly. Then she thinks forget it. Why should I care? Then she says, why is this strange feeling coming? Then she thinks no, I have to go give an audition right now. Then that here the director is telling the writer what happened in just one day that her acting improved so much. The writer says, see it once before saying anything. Here Yuji apologizes to them for taking up their busy schedule for herself. The director says, yes, show us. What has changed in your acting? Just then Yuji starting. But first she closes her eyes and brings back the feelings from last night. The feelings she had felt from Chin. After that Yuji bringing out all those emotions and acting beautifully, delivering her line. Here both the writer and director going into complete shock from Yuji's acting. They ask her how her acting improved so much. Then the director telling her, but what can we do now? Because we have already confirmed another actor. The writer says, but that actor's audition had not happened yet. The writer tells her that her agency contacted us saying to give her this supporting role. We are sorry, Yuji, but your acting has improved a lot. She is happy hearing this. The director then asks, are you okay? She thinks, how did this happen? Just then Yuji's manager comes and is hugging her saying, how is she? Yuji pushes him aside and says, who are you? Do I know you? He says, are you still angry at us? She says, I am not angry at you. Who am I to be angry at you? Then he says, look, your real owner has arrived. Just then Ning walking in. Then Ning asking her, what are you doing here? She says, none of your business. Ning says, have you still not found an agency? She says, none of your business. Just then her turn and Chen is there. She goes quickly to him saying hi and tells him, please stay quiet and back me up, okay? Act along. Then her acting starts, and she tells Ning, this is my manager. Who said I do not have a manager? I also have a good counselor manager. Here Ning starts laughing and says, why? What happened? Ning says, hello Mr. Chin, you came quickly. He also says hello to her. Right then we find out that he had actually come to meet Ning. And here Yuji's plan has backfired. She thinks, I had to do all this right now. Then Ning asking her, how long have you known Chin? Yuji replies, just about 2 months. Ning starts laughing and says, I have known him for 6 to 7 months, when neither his career had started nor mine. We both started our careers together. So Yuji saying, okay, but he lives close to me. We both live together. You do not know that, so we are closer and we meet each other daily. Ning goes into shock. She says, you live in your luxury house. How did you shift there? She says, none of your business. Then Ning telling her here, since you still do not have a manager and agency, how will you work ahead? Yuji getting a little upset hearing her word, but Yuji does not let her confidence break. Just then a guy passes by there and recognizes Yuji and tells her, hey, you are Yuji, right? Yuji says, who are you? I do not know you. He gives her his card and says he is from the sports department and media. Can I take your interview? Yuji refusing him. She says she does not have time and is about to leave. But he is following her and recording her every word, and he even grabs her hand. He says he chants to take her interview. Just then Chin coming forward. He makes him let go of her hand and says, do you not know the law? You cannot forcefully take any actor's interview without their consent. He says, who are you? Just then Chin saying, all of this concerns me because I am her manager. Ning also going into shock hearing this. And Yuji is in complete shock plus happiness. Even at home, she cannot sleep properly and keeps remembering the moment when he says, I am her manager. She thinks, why is he married? Why? Then Ning calling Chin to dinner at his friend's restaurant and thanking him. If you had not been there today, I probably would not have become such a big star. She says, I have brought a gift for you. Chin says, there is no need for all this. Whatever you are today, you are because of your own hard work. After that, Ning giving him a contract. She says she has spoken to her agency for him. He can do counseling for the actors there and can join too. Hearing this, Right then she notices something dirty on his collar and says, "Your collar has gotten dirty." She goes close to him and tries to clean it, but Chin is feeling uncomfortable here. Just then Yuji is running and suddenly stops. She thinks, what happened to me just now? Why did my heartbeat suddenly get so fast? Just then Yuji noticing Chin and Ning and thinking these two right now at this time, and she thinks this is also a strange person, married yet keeps meeting other girls. Then she thinks, why am I feeling so strange? What kind of feeling is this? Just then Yuji thinking of going inside the restaurant, and she comes in. Yuji saying hello to Chin and Ning and asking, can I sit with you? Just then Ning saying there are so many other seats. Why do you want to sit with us? So Yuji says, do you not know what rudeness is? No manners? We know each other. If we sit separately it will seem rude, won't it? Just then Chen's friend at the counter also supporting her. He says yes, you should sit together. Chin also goes into shock. Yuji sits right next to Chin. Then while leaving too, Yuji tells Ning, are you not ashamed? Even being married, you have affairs with other girls. She says, what? Chin about to leave. She also gets into the car. Ning says, why have you come? She says, you do not know? We live in the same place. You know that. Ning says, but you are not running. You need to take care of your health. She says, yes, I understood. I have to get down, don't I? And then Yuji getting out of the car and saying, getting too full of himself. She talks to herself, why does this always happen with me? Then Yuji getting rapid messages. Money is being cut from her account. She is shocked seeing all this. Here we also see Chin arriving at Ning's agency with her to sign the contract. He is just about to sign. The CEO is trying to convince him. When just then Yuji's entry happens, she is very angry and says to the director, why did you deduct money from me without asking? I told you I would give you the money. The director says, calm down, Yuji. We have other guests here. Please calm down. He tries to calm her down, but Yuji does not listen to anyone and creates a big scene saying, why did you do this? The director says, do you not know? I am a CEO. I cannot stop all of this for you. This is also against the contract. She says, but there is a thing called friendship. You should trust me. He says, trust? What more trust should I give? I have respected you so much. You noticed it here. My guests have come. If you cared about friendship, you would also have respected me here instead of disrespecting me in front of my guests. He says, please do not come like this in the future. And if you want, talk to my lawyer. And from now on, please do not come to my office without telling me. Yuji is very upset hearing all of this and think, there was a time I trusted you so much. And saying all this, she walks away from there. Her director also saying, yes, please leave from here and please do not make a scene. Yuji leaving very angrily. All of this happened and Chin and Ning are watching too. It feels very bad to him. Then the director also calming himself down and going back to his seat and talking about the contract. But here Chin getting a little upset and telling him, I did not expect this from you. If your agency treats its own actor like this, then how will you treat people like us? If tomorrow something like this happens with me too? And he says, my straightforward meaning is that I do not chant to sign the contract. And he leaves from there. Here Ning is also very angry after all this scene. Then that just as Yuji is leaving, she gets a call from the writer who tells her that the actor suddenly had an accident and she will not be able to act in the drama now. So this is your last chance. You should not miss this opportunity. Act well, the way you did before. Come again for the audition and please, I have faith in you. You can do it well. Yuji feeling a little upset here. Just then Chin coming. She turns back and says, if you are feeling bad for me, will you do me one favor? That night, Yuji talking to him at his friend's restaurant. Look, you can awaken my feelings well. I can feel your feelings. You know that. He says, what, you can feel my feelings and emotions? She says, yes. Do you not know how many incidents have happened between us until now? Chin thinking, you can feel my feelings and emotions. You can hear my thought. This is a complete invasion of my privacy. She says, it is not like that. I will not tell anyone. He says, then I cannot help you in all these things. And refusing, he gets up to leave from there. Just then she tries to stop him, but they bump into each other again. He holds her and then quickly lets go and says sorry to her, leaving from there. Just then Yuji going after him and stopping him. She says, you are a therapist. You cannot help me? Please understand. I am in a bad state right now. Please, I will pay you tomorrow too. He says, I do not care about money, but I cannot help you like this. You yourself think, someone who can read your inner thoughts. Would you say yes to helping someone like that? Would you say yes? Yuji thinking, it is not like that. Then Chin telling her, I cannot help you. And then that scene comes back to him when his sister says everything that happened with us today, all of it happened because of Yuji. Just then Chin getting a little upset. And Yuji also feels that feeling. She lets go of his hand and thinks, what happened? Chin saying sorry to her again and leaving from there saying he cannot help. Yuji thinks, what kind of feeling was that? It was a very strange feeling. In the next scene, Chen's sister painting. but suddenly the weather gets bad. She worries about hail and thinks of going to pick her up. Just then the morning conversation comes back to her and she thinks no, she should not go near her. She stays right there. On the other hand, Hale is at kindergarten playing. The rain has already come. All the other children's parents have come to pick them up, but she is alone and upset. Yuji is also coming back home with a bad mood. Yuji noticing Hale. She stops her. Hey, what are you doing here? Where is your papa? Where is your mama? Why are you getting wet alone in the rain? Hale does not answer anything. She is just crying and saying, no one loves me. Then Yuji bringing her to her house and feeding her tasty food. Hale says, why are you not eating this food? Yuji replying to her, look, I do not have to eat all this to stay beautiful. She says, I also want to be beautiful, and leaves the food. Yuji says, why do you need to be beautiful? She says, no, I chant to be beautiful. She says, everyone likes you just as you are. She says, no, there is one person who does not like me. She says, but who is the one who does not like you? She says, it is a secret. Then she asks, do you live alone in this house? Do your mom and dad not live with you? Then Yuji tells her, no, my mom and I have had a fight and my dad has not been there since my childhood. So I am just used to living alone. What can you do, right? We have grown up too. So she says, my papa is not there either. Yuji says, you have a papa. She says, it is a secret, but I tend to tell you. Please do not tell anyone. Then Hale telling Yuji that he is not her papa, but her uncle. And hearing this, Yuji's face shifts into a completely different expression. She says, what, he is your uncle? She says, please keep it a secret. She says, yes, I will keep it a secret. Do not worry. She says, please auntie, eat a full meal at Auntie's house. Hale eats happily. Then that here Hale's mom and Hale's friend and everyone are looking for her. She is nowhere to be found. Just then Yuji bringing Hale back. He notices all of this. And then Chin goes to her and holds Hale and says, what was she doing at your place? She says, when I came back home, she was standing in the rain, so I brought her to my house. He says, do you not know that first you should contact the parents? We were so worried from here. Hale was about to say something to Yuji, but Chin starts getting so angry at Yuji and is scolding her. You should have at least told us. We were all so worried. You have no sense of responsibility, no common sense. She says, yes, I accept. I have no common sense. But what common sense do you all have? You left the little girl alone who is so hurt and saying no one likes her. She says, if you care so much about her, take care of her, and says sorry and walks away. Then at home too, she is upset. As she stands up, she suddenly notices she is feeling dizzy. She thinks, why is this happening? Just then Yuji taking diet pill. She thinks, maybe it is because of these. Then she thinks, no, I have to maintain my figure before the audition. She says, it is okay. Just one more day, and takes the medicine. Just then her condition getting even worse and she faints. Outside, Chin is thinking about how to apologize and is thinking of going home. Just then Rain arriving. He notices it. He remembers that Yuji is scared of rain and he starts knocking on her door quickly. He calls out to her, but there is no sound. Just then Chin getting the door opened and entering her house. Yuji has already fainted. He notices the pills too and tries to wake Yuji up. After that, Chin bringing her to the hospital where her condition is now better than before. And that while she is still unconscious, he thinks to himself, why did she do this? Just because her career ended. How could she do this? How can someone do this over such small thing? These thoughts, all of this. Yuji hears everything and thinks, at least I should do a little acting. But she thinks, wait, when did I do this? Then Yuji taking advantage of this, because his mind is thinking, maybe I should just help her. Just then Yuji's acting begins. She gets up and says, what am I doing here? How did I come here? He says, I brought you here. You are fine now. She says, I had not wanted to wake up again. That is why I fainted. He says, please do not say that. And then Chin getting angry at her. How can you do this over such small thing? You still have your life to live ahead. If you start giving up on these things, how will you manage? She says, no, now no one likes me. I understand now that I am not in a condition to do anything anymore. And she is doing some incredible acting and thinking, maybe now he will get caught in my trap and will help me. Then that the counselor notices her feet and understands this is a trick. He says, you can understand my inner thoughts, right? She says, yes, how many times do I tell you it happens like that? He says, okay, then tell me what I am thinking right now. Yuji thinks okay. Chin thinking in his mind, what terrible acting. How can anyone do this? And she understands. He says, now you understood, right? He says, from now on, please do not do this, and says no and leaves from there angrily. She thinks, why does this always happen with me? Just then, Ning here reading news about Yuji. the rumor's spreading that she also has a handsome boyfriend who cares for her so much, even in the hospital. Ning is very angry here, and then she calls her old agency director and says, "Now you will have to help us." Just then Yuji's ex-manager arrives there. Right then Ning noticing him and saying, "You go outside." But as he is going outside, he hears everything Ning is saying to the director, all about Yuji. Then that the writer calls Yuji and tells her the rumors spreading about her are all false. She says, "Yes, they are all false. Please do not believe them." She says, "Please take care of yourself. You have an audition too." She says yes. And the writer telling her, "Quickly find an agency and manager for yourself. You will not be able to handle everything alone." Yuji says, "Okay, I understand." Just then Yuji is about to leave, but she gets another call from her ex-company's director CEO. He says, "Sign the contract with me." Meanwhile, Chin coming back, he notices the manager. He says, "What are you doing here?" He reminds himself of him and says, "You are that counselor, right?" He says, "Please call Yuji. Her contact is not going through. She is not picking up and no one is at home either." He says, "Why don't you call yourself?" He says, "I tried, but she has blocked me." He says, "Why?" He says, "There is no time for all this right now. We need to stop her from signing the contract. She is very foolish. She signs contracts without reading them. And the director of that company is very terrible. He troubles everyone and is a fraud and a scammer." Then Yuji being told here, "We will make you a top star if you sign the contract with us." Here Chin also rushing out, worried about her, going to find that company. And Yuji here is just about to sign. Just then Chin makes his entry and stops her from signing. He asks, "Is your offer still valid?" Yuji says, "What?" And Chin grabbing her contract and tearing it apart. The CEO says, "Who are you?" He says, "None of your business." And Chin telling Yuji, "I am your new manager." In the next scene, we see that Chin closes his clinic for 3 months. His manager asks him, "What are you going to do for 3 months? Are you going somewhere to travel or something else?" He replies, "I am going to do a part-time job." His manager says, "A part-time job? Which one?" He tells him, "In my part-time job, I am going to work as a manager." His manager hears this and gets shocked and says, "All right, you will find out what my job is like." Meanwhile, we see that Yuji also gets a contract signed. She says to Chin, "These are all the duties of a manager. Check them once." Right then we see that when Chin reads the contract, he is thinking in his mind, "Is this right?" She says, "Yes, everything is right. Don't worry. I will not cheat you and I will not fraud you." He says, "Just because you can hear my inner thoughts does not mean you will say everything out loud publicly and expose my feeling." And she just smiles and gives him a gesture. After that, we see she asks him, "If you want to add something in this, you can add that too." So Chin says, "Yes, all my family details should stay personal and private." She says, "What is there even to say about this? What do you think? Do I tell everyone everything?" He says, "Still, there is such a thing as privacy." And he adds it and signs the contract and hands it to her. In the next scene, we see that Yuji brings a very big bundle of books for him, seeing which he gets shocked. She says, "Don't be scared. You are my manager now and you must have read the contract. See, I can feel your inner feelings and emotions. So now you will have to help me in my new auditions for my comeback. And see, it is not just the manager's work you have to do. You have to do a lot of my work because I have no agency right now." Then she says, "Come sit next to me and explain all these scripts to me." After that, we see he says, "How can I just share all my feelings with you like that?" She says, "Come on, you know I can feel you. Come on, read this character and feel everything, and only then will I be able to act in this." He says, "Look, I know you can feel my feeling, but at the end of the day, they are my feeling. Don't make them public." She says, "Come on, quickly read it." In the next scene, we see that he reads the script to her properly, tells her about the character, makes her feel the emotion, and practices with her on how she should act. They also go outside and check how far Chen's feelings she can hear. She says, "Please don't stay too far from me." And hearing this, he feels happy too. Then finally, the day of the audition arrives, where Yuji is feeling very nervous. Chin says to her, "Are you getting my mind's feelings?" She says, "Yes, I am feeling a little better." He says, "Yes, keep that same peace of mind inside you and stay confident." He motivates her really well. In the next scene, we see at the time of the audition, Yuji keeps her mind calm and is feeling everything. Outside, Chin also reads the script properly and feels the emotions. Yuji feels all of this too, and she acts very well in her audition. After that, we see she comes out making a face. So Chin asks, "What happened? How did it go?" She smiles and tells him, "I passed the audition. I finally passed." And in happiness, both of them hug each other. Right then, Yuji notices that they have become a little too close. Then both of them step apart and Chin congratulates her while handling the moment, and she thanks him too. As they are leaving, she tells him, "I have a lot to do now. I need to get a car too. We will get a van type and a new hairstylist." So Chin says, "Don't get too excited. Only one drama of yours is done right now. You still have more to do ahead, so wait." She says, "You don't know. As a rock star, as a top star, I have to think a lot in advance." Meanwhile, we see Chin gets a call from an unknown number, and he is giving his own introduction. He forgets that he is now Yuji's manager, and the call was for Yuji, saying that a photo shoot needs to be scheduled. "You are Yuji's manager." In the next scene, we see Yuji gets very happy and Chin also says, "All right, let's get the photo shoot done tomorrow itself." Yuji gets very excited hearing about her new photo shoot and says, "Now I will make my comeback." After that, we see her photo shoot begins and Yuji is giving very good poses, seeing which everyone gets very shocked by her beauty. Her new posters also start printing everywhere. On the other hand, we see that Ning also sees the news of Yuji's comeback, and she gets a little shocked hearing this. At night, we see Chin is again explaining to Yuji about the script and the new shoot. Right then Yuji asks him, "How do you understand others' feelings so well?" He says, "Maybe because I am a counselor." She says, "No. How do you understand even the smallest things about others and find a solution for them?" So he tells her about his father. "Maybe I learned all this from my father. My father was a very kind person." And we see Yuji starts feeling a little sadness. He says, "My father always put others first and kept himself behind." She says, "Your father is no more." He says, "How do you know?" She says, "I can feel your inner feeling. You are very sad." He says, "Yes. Actually, my father is no longer here. He actually died a long time ago in an incident." He emotionally tells Yuji that, "When I was a child, I took his respirator pump as a toy, thinking it was just for fun." Right then we see he comes to meet his father, and his sister tells father, "He took your thing. We came to return it." And we see Chin is still looking for the respirator to give it back. But right then his father gets some other work and gets busy, and the pump stays in Chen's hand. After that, we see while all this was happening, his father needed it. His sister also runs after him. He runs after his father, and the incident happened. He feels very guilty about this and says, "If I had not done all that day, my sister would have been fine today, and my father would have been fine too, and none of this would have ever happened. I feel like I don't deserve happiness because I am the only one who is okay right now, which is very bad for me. I am not happy at all." And suddenly he looks at Yuji and says, "Why are you crying so much? I am not even that sad." And says, "Your eyes will dry up. You also have your next audition. Let me get you an ice pack." Right then Yuji holds him and gives him a warm and gentle hug and says, "It's okay. Don't think badly of yourself." In the next scene, we see she is calming him down. Sochin moves her away and says, "Don't worry about me. Worry about yourself." Right then we see Yuji tells him, "Don't make eye contact with me like this. I am feeling something." And says, "Whatever this is, it is not yours. These are my feelings." And suddenly we see she kisses Chin and says, "These are my feelings, not yours." After that, we see Chin moves away from her and says, "What is happening here?" Then we see both of them get embarrassed. They step apart. There are awkward feelings between them. Next morning, we see when Yuji wakes up she thinks, "What have I done yesterday? How will I face him now? How did I make such a big mistake?" Outside, we see Chin is waiting for her, but we see Chin can now hear her inner voice in which she is saying, "How will I face him now? How will I go? How will I say hello to him?" Right then, we see Yuji comes outside and both are looking at each other awkwardly. Yuji thinks in her mind, "What do I do? Should I ignore it or say that I was drunk?" Then she says, "No, I didn't even drink that much." Then she comes close to him and acting normally says, "Hello, good morning," and walks past. Chin thinks, "What is happening to me right now? Why am I hearing her inner voice?" In the next scene, we see a media guy who is writing an article about Yuji. And then we see Yuji's shooting has already started and the director says action, and Chin also starts reading the script and starts feeling the emotion. Right then we see that just when Yuji is about to deliver her dialogue, she stops because she is not feeling anything related to it. Here we see she stops completely. Everyone thinks, "What happened to her? Why did she stop?" After that, we see Yuji suddenly notices Chin and thinks, "What happened to me?" Chin also cannot understand anything. Meanwhile, the media guy finally posts the article he wrote about Yuji publicly, and this article starts spreading everywhere. And we see the company CEO also gets very angry because calls upon calls start coming for everyone. He calls a guy and says, "Tell the director to cancel filming and come here right now to talk about a new contract." On the other hand, in the shooting too, Yuji is not acting properly. The director keeps saying cut again and again, and then explains to her, Yuji, what happened to you? Why are you not acting the same way you did in the audition? Yuji also cannot understand anything. Everyone here is very worried about when it will end. We see Yuji is troubled thinking, what do I do? What do I do? Chin thinks of an idea. He knocks a chair down and here we see the director says, now what happened? So Chin tells him, it fell by mistake, and then tells him, I think we should take a break. Hearing this, the director gets angry. Chin explains to him, maybe Yuji is not feeling well. If she gets a little time, maybe she will act better after this. And he is convincing the director and asking for a little time. The director is about to say something. Right then a guy comes and says, the CEO is calling you. So we see the guy whispers the whole situation to the director. Then the director says, let's take a break, and leaves giving everyone a break. Right then, we see in the office, Yuji tells Chin, you did not read the script properly. I felt nothing at all. Chin says, I was saying everything the same way we have been doing until now. I was feeling everything. I was reading everything. But Yuji says, I felt nothing at all. But why did this happen? We see Chin is also thinking. Yuji thinks in her mind, has the feeling sharing stopped? Chin can hear her voice and tells her, no, it has not stopped. It has swapped. I feel like now I can feel your feeling. Hearing this, Yuji gets shocked. He tells her, now this has changed. In the next scene, Yuji also starts thinking here. Right then the guy comes and tells them, the director has cancelled the shooting. You all can leave. Yuji gets very upset. Next day, we see the director says, we will have to remove Yuji from this. She will not play the lead role. Chin tells them, how can you do this? The director says, it is not my fault. You yourself look at this news. Because of all this, what can we do? Yuji has not apologized publicly yet, and nobody wants to bring her back in the industry. Hearing this, the director says, I cannot do anything. Nothing is in my hand. And apologizes to Yuji. Sorry, Yuji. We wanted to take you, but nothing is in our hand. Chin tries to explain. Right then Yuji says, I have understood. And tells him, look, I get it. You don't worry. I will not create more trouble for you. I will quit this shooting myself. And saying this, she walks away angrily. In the next scene, we see Ning is also reading the news about Yuji, but her hairstylist starts speaking badly about Yuji. She says, how shameless of her to think of making a comeback. Ning says, you must be talking like this about others behind my back too. And says, mind your own business. How much do you even know about Yuji? And then says, where is the director going? Her hairstylist says, he is going out of station. She says, when the director comes, tell him I need a new hairstylist because I don't want gossip here. There is more gossip here than work. And tells her, know your place. After that, we see Chin meets Yuji's ex-manager and is asking him everything about the bullying video. Her manager says, Yuji said that the video is edited because she does not remember when she said such a thing and how it happened. She has no memory at all of whether this video is real or fake. When we found out, the video was not even edited. We could not understand what to do at that time. The rumor had spread so much. And he tells him, we have worked so much with Yuji. I know Yuji is not like this at all. No matter how angry she is, she would never say such things to anyone. She is very kind-hearted. Chin listens to everything carefully and asks, where is the girl who posted this video? He says, she is out of contact with us. There has been no trace of her since then. And he says, don't know how Yuji must be doing. She must surely be drinking in this condition. And here we see that is exactly what Yuji is doing. She is drinking and lying down, thinking, what do I do now? How do I move forward? Chen's call comes, but we see she notices it and thinks, should I not pick it up? And without picking it, she cuts the call and lies back down. In the next scene, we see Chen is at a restaurant with his friend and is telling him everything. His friend says, an angelic Yuji, a top star, cannot say such a thing. I fully believe she is a very good person. We see Chen asks him, look at this video carefully. What do you think? Is it real or edited? Can Yuji say something like this? And he starts asking his friend counseling questions. His friend yawns and he says, you are yawning in such a serious matter. Why are you not serious? His friend says, I am your friend, not your counseling student. So talk to me like a friend. He says, okay, sir. After that, we see he relaxes and in a friendly way asks, what do you think? What is wrong here? So his friend observes carefully and says, it looks like she is not saying anything to anyone. It looks like everything is scripted. Like she is acting exactly like this. Because you have seen Yuji's acting, she does it like this. Right then we see Chen starts thinking that this could be possible. Then he goes to the police station and meets his detective friend and takes advice from him and says, will you help me with something? His friend agrees and he says, I need to find someone. Can you search about this? And gives his friend the information. His friend sees the information and says, so you need to find this person. In the next scene, we see Hale goes into her mom's room to look for her. The maid had said she was right there, but her mom comes from behind and says, "What are you doing here?" She tells her, "Papa had said to always take mom's permission before going out to play, so I came to ask if I can go to the playground." Her mom says, "You can go when your father comes." She says, "But I always go to the playground alone." After that, we see her mom allows her and says, "Okay, you can go, but come back on time." She says, "Thank you, mommy, I will come on time." We see here that Hale's mom is also a little tense. She is feeling upset looking at her feet. Hale is playing alone in the playground. She notices everyone. Everyone is enjoying playing with their brothers, sisters, and parents. She gets upset. Right then, we see Yuji comes along with a drink in her hand. She sees that Hale is fighting with her group of friends. All of them are saying to Hale, "Why are you never seen with your mom?" She says, "I have a mom." They all say, "No, you don't." She says, "I have a mom. She is just a little sick." They say, "No, you are lying. You are definitely an orphan girl." She says, "I am not an orphan." And all of them are bullying her. Yuji cannot bear to watch. She goes to them and says, "What happened? Why are all of you bullying her?" They say, "Who are you, auntie?" She says, "Again, auntie? I am not auntie." Right then we see Hale says, "She is my mom." She gets shocked. "Me?" She says, "Please." In the next scene, we see she understands through gestures and says, "Yes, I am Hale's mom. Why are you bullying her?" And she asks each child, "Did you bully her? Did you bully her?" And scares all the children. Hale gets happy here. In the next scene, we see both of them are sitting at the slide and she says, "Hale, come on, it's getting late. Your mom must be waiting for you." She says, "No, my mom does not care about me. She does not love me." We see here Yuji explains to her, "It is not like that. She loves you. She just may not show it." She says, "Not everyone is as lucky as you who has a mom close by." Hale says, "Why? Don't you have one?" She says, "I have one too." Right then we see suddenly a rumbling sound comes from Hale's stomach. Yuji says, "Come on, auntie will feed you tasty food." And here Hale gets happy. In the next scene, we see both go back home. Chin sees Hale and goes to her. Right then Yuji tells her, "Next time, I will definitely give you a good dinner. But right now I am leaving." Hale stops her and says, "Why are you leaving?" She says, definitely next time," and runs away. Chin goes to Hale and says, "What happened? Why did Annie run away like that?" Hale asks her father, "Did you two have a fight?" He says, "No, nothing like that." She says, "Then why did she run away the moment you came? She was about to feed me dinner." He says, "It is not like that." Then he says, "Will you have dinner with mom tonight?" She says, "Why? Where are you going?" So we see Chin tells her, "I am going to convince Yuji auntie." And she says, "Okay, come back only after convincing her," and happily says bye to him. On the other side, we see he is standing outside Yuji's house shouting, "Open the door. Open the door." He is shouting very loudly. Right then she comes out angrily and says, "What happened? Tell me, what do you want?" He says, "Why are you avoiding me? Is this how you want to give up?" She says, "What does it matter to you?" He tells her, "It matters to me. I am your manager." And then she is going back inside. He stops her, "Where are you going?" And says, "Why are you avoiding me? Why are you not making eye contact?" Right then she shows her big wide eyes and says, "Look here, I am looking at you." He says, "Okay, now you are looking." Then he says, "Do you think if you avoid me everything will be fine? I will not let that happen." And then he tells her, and right then he remembers that she is avoiding him so that the emotional transfer between them stops. He says, "So you're avoiding me so that I cannot understand your feelings and emotion." And says, "When it was my turn, you were saying everything out loud publicly. Now when it is your turn, you're avoiding and running away from me." He says, "How is that fair?" She says, "It is not like that at all. I am not running anywhere. Okay, I am right here." He says, "Okay, then come inside. Let's talk inside," and walks into her house and says, "I could already tell you would just be drinking," and tells her, "Drinking will not solve anything." "Okay," she says, "What does it matter to you?" And is going back. He says, "It matters to me. Of course, I am your new manager. I will do this for 3 months. He gives her some things and says, "Go and make food from these vegetables." She says, "Why should I make food? And why should I make it for you?" He says, "You yourself said that you feel good when you cook for others. Your mood becomes completely good." She says, "You remember so well," and smiles and says, "Okay, fine." He says, "Yes, go make it and come." Right then we see she also feels good hearing this, and she accepts and goes to make food for him. After that, we see Chin sits up the whole night noticing all information about Yuji and planning everything properly for her comeback. Next morning, in a restaurant, he has a meeting with his friend, Hale, and Yuji, and tells them, "I have made a new plan." Right then his friend raises his hand and says, but what is my work in this? Why should we help Yuji? And tells Hale, what is our work here? Right then we see Yuji looks at him, and the guy's hands automatically come down and he says, yes, we will work hard. We will do everything well. Here we see she also gets happy and Chin says, so the plan is that all three of you first grab a notebook, and gives them information files and says, now listen carefully. I have recorded in this everything that Yuji has done as good work until today. Yuji notices that all her donations, funds, and good work are recorded in it. He says, yes, now the time has come to show people all this which you have been hiding until now. Nobody even knows about your goodness. Yuji says, I had completely forgotten all of this, and gets happy. He says, now this is what we have to do. We have to spread all these things to others from different accounts that Yuji has also done good work, and we have to tell people that Yuji is also good and kind-hearted and not bad. We see both friends start doing it. Yuji is also getting very happy because even now her good fans are there who are posting good comments for her. Right then we see Chin reaches director Woo, with whom Yuji was going to do a film earlier, but after the rumor the film got cancelled. So he says, how did you become Yuji's manager from counseling? He says, that is a very long story, Director Woo. I will tell you sometime later. Right now I have come to take some help from you. He tells the director everything and the director says, I actually want to help, but you tell me, how can I suddenly cast her in my movie in the main lead? In the next scene, we see Chin understands and says, no, you have misunderstood. I am actually not asking you for the main role. I just want you to give Yuji a chance through which she can prove herself and do better in her acting and career. He says, just give Yuji one chance. That is all I want. He says, okay. After that, we see the director says, actually, my first choice was Yuji itself. I feel very bad because of me she had to leave the movie halfway. The contract was also signed. Then he says, I want to help her and I will try my best. I will give her a supporting role. Then suddenly he remembers and says, but have you asked Yuji? Because she is Korea's top star, and I don't think Yuji will easily agree for a supporting role. He also starts thinking about this, and we see exactly that happen. Yuji rejects the proposal and says, I was going to do the main lead role in that, and now you want me to do a supporting role? How can I? It is a matter of my ego and my self-respect. She says, I will not do it. He says, will you give up like this? Look, it always starts from something small. You yourself want to come back. You want people to know you and recognize your acting skills. So you should take whatever opportunities you are getting right now. And he convinces Yuji. Yuji also thinks and then accepts it. He tells her, look, I am here with you. Don't worry. Slowly we will make a new beginning. We see Yuji understands everything and then agrees to his words. He also gets happy. In the next scene, we see both of them properly figure out all the details of how did this happen. How did the emotional transfer change? Yuji says, the weather was the same. The timing was the same. The season was the same. Everything was the same. So how did this happen? What mistake did we suddenly make? Right then something clicks in Chen's mind, and here we see Yuji asks him, what is coming to your mind? Tell me quickly. He says, nothing. She says, your face is telling. Tell me quickly. Right then he says, the kiss. In the next scene, we see Yuji says, what? Which kiss? He says, oh, you forgot so quickly. He says, look, it is only after the kiss that our emotional transfer change. I can hear your inner thoughts and you cannot hear mine. She says, I don't believe it. He says, look, you don't remember, but I remember everything. She says, I don't believe it. Then he says, believe it or not, this is the truth. Then she says, what does one kiss even do? He says, you don't remember one kiss? We have had 2 kisses. She says, no, how can that be? Only one happened. He says, you don't remember? Then she tries to remember. She says, no, I don't remember. Right then we see Chin remembers everything. Chin says, when you had fainted, when you had come to my counseling office, and he is reminding her of everything. When she had got scared and was getting very nervous, she had kissed Chin while fainting. Then she also remembers and says, it was just one kiss. And she is shocked, just one kiss. He says, how can you forget something like this? She says, you are forgetting. I am an actor. For me, this is all normal. In the next scene, we see Chin says, okay, a kiss is normal, but acting is not normal. You cannot act. She says, everyone has a specialty in different things. Then we see he says, no matter what happens, I will not do it again. She says, it is just one kiss. Let's do it again. What is the big deal? And she is convincing him. Let's do it again. What goes? So Chin says no. She says, I have kissed so many people. For me, it is normal. He says to her, it may be normal for you because you are an actress. She says, you also become an actor. And says, come on, you're my manager. You can at least do this much. You will have to help me. And she holds his face and says, now don't be too shy and don't run either. Okay, I am about to do it. And she gives him a kiss.